All right, friends, if you are currently struggling with learning the pentatonic scale, then you've probably seen a ton of videos online that tell you need to learn the 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale. Those shapes are the major pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, and 3 more that no one can name and you'll never use. I've got a better way, I've got an easier way, and I'll show it to you right after the get down. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. I hope you are all doing very well. It is wonderful to see you here in this new year. And let's not waste any time. I started by telling you that you didn't need to learn the 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale. I've got a better way, the Brownstone way. So the idea behind this method is all centered around 2 notes. And I've talked about this in a previous video. But today I'm going to break it down in a different way. I'm going to start by playing the A minor pentatonic scale. Now the deal with the A minor pentatonic is that it doesn't have any sharps or flats in it. So I'm starting from the 5th fret of the E string, and if I have my 4 fret span happening, then the fingers that I'm using are 1, 4, and then everything else is 1, 3. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Those are the fingers that I'm using in my 4 fret span. If you don't know this scale, you'll get it so quickly. And I suggest that you just do this. Run the scale up and down. This is the A minor pentatonic scale. So there's only one minor scale that has no sharps and no flats in it, and that is the A minor scale. There is only one major scale that has no sharps and no flats in it. That is the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So this means that these 2 scales are related. Why? If they don't have any sharps and they don't have any flats, then they're all the same notes, right? Here is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And if I just go from that minor scale and play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, then I've just played a major scale. I hope I haven't confused you with that information, but it's very important to know that in this particular case, A minor is the relative minor of C major. You don't really need to fully understand this. I just needed you to see the relationship between these 2 scales because it is very important to the method behind this way of learning the pentatonic scale. I'm going to show you what that deal is. When I play the first note of the minor pentatonic scale and then go to the second note of that minor pentatonic scale, that second note is where I can begin the major pentatonic scale. In other words, I can play A minor and listen to the sound of what's happening here. So this is my A minor pentatonic shape. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, and 1, 3. But check out the sound. Now watch this. I'm going to play the first note of A minor and then play C major pentatonic. So I played the note A at the 5th fret of the E string and then moved up to a C major pentatonic scale. And you can hear it's the exact same sound. So C major is the relative major of A minor, and vice versa. A minor is the relative minor of C major. All right, so if you don't know the major pentatonic shape, it's very easy. If I keep my 4-fret span happening, then I'm going to start with my second finger at the 8th fret of the E string. That's the note C. That is also the second note of my A minor. And if I play a C major scale, then the notes that I am taking out of that scale are the 4th note and the 7th note. Those 2 notes are out. And once you take those 2 notes away, what you are left with is the 1st note, the 2nd note, the 3rd note of the scale, the 5th note of the scale, and the 6th note of the scale. And I've said this before in previous videos, but if you recognize that sound, and maybe you don't know how to play a major pentatonic scale, then maybe you know this. That's a major pentatonic scale. So here, if I'm using my 4-fret span, I've got my second finger on the 8th fret of the E string. And if that is my span, I'm covering an area between the 7th fret and the 10th fret. So in doing that, the fingers that I am using are 2-4 on the E string, 1-4 on the A string, 1-4 on the D string, and then 1-3 on the G string. That's the shape of the major pentatonic. Right? So here is what we have established so far. I've got a minor pentatonic scale, but now I know that on the second note of my minor, I can play a major pentatonic scale. Here's the minor, and here's the major. And if you want, you can play them together by moving up and coming down the major pentatonic, and then going back down, playing the minor, up to the major down. Again, they're both using the same notes, which makes them the same scale. But we're taking advantage of the different positions to play these notes so we can cover more of the fretboard. So this is the first thing that we can remember. The second note of the minor pentatonic scale is where you can start the major pentatonic scale. Now here's the other thing. When I play a major pentatonic scale, I've got 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, guess what? That 5th note is an A, which means when I play that major pentatonic to the last note, that's where I can come down a minor pentatonic. See that? That's an A, which means I can play A minor coming down. So I'm connecting these 2 scales and turning them into one sort of macro scale so that I can cover more of the fretboard and move around a little bit when I start to improvise. I have more room and more options when I start to play. There is one more shape. If you have followed this channel and you are familiar with the pentatonic lessons that I've put on this channel previously, then you are already familiar with these shapes and this third shape that I am about to show you. So I want you to check out what's happening here. We've got, here I'm at the 8th fret. Here's the 10th fret of the E. Here's the 12th fret of the E. And when I play that 10th and 12th fret, I can also play the 10th and the 12th fret on the A string or the string below, and that completes the shape. 3 notes and then 2 notes. Check out the shape of that, because once you memorize this very simple shape, you can move it anywhere, which is the case with all of these shapes that I'm showing you now. You can start them anywhere, which means you can play this pattern in any key. So anywhere I play this pattern, once you become familiar with the shape, you can play this pattern anywhere, and it will be the pattern of a major pentatonic scale, starting from any note. Always a major pentatonic. So if I play those 5 notes, that's the shape. But if I start on C, on the E string, that means I can start again an octave higher at the 10th fret of the D string and play the same shape. Why? Because that's a major pentatonic scale. When I play that shape twice, I'm landing on the note A, which means I can come down my minor pentatonic shape. Right? So if you remember that shape, okay, so now I'll play all 3 shapes, and then I will land on that A minor at an octave higher from where I started. I'll show you what I mean. Starting with the A minor. And then I'll come back down. And then when I go to that second note of my minor pentatonic scale, I can play the relative major, in this case C major. All the same notes. And then here I can play the other shape 2 times. And then I land on A. Once I land on that A, I can come down the minor pentatonic. Now, when I come down that minor pentatonic from way up here at the 14th fret of the G string, here I've come down to the A. I'm missing 2 notes, the 2 notes that are on the E string. Those 2 notes are very easy to find, because if I play down that pattern of the minor pentatonic, it's right there. The same pattern that I played to complete that shape on the A string, which is going to be like 4-1 if I'm using my 4 fret span, then it's 4-1 again on the E string. Right? So all I'm doing here is coming down the minor pentatonic shape and then filling in the gaps. You can hear what notes are supposed to happen next. And then when you do that, you recognize the shape that's being created. There's my A minor pentatonic, and then I can follow through. I don't even need to tell you where those notes are. You can hear what's happening there, and it's very easy to find those 2 notes to complete the pattern as it lays across all 4 strings. All right, now that we have found this minor pentatonic shape going down to the A at the 12th fret of the A string there, that's my minor pentatonic shape. So, remember the rule? The second note of the minor pentatonic is where I can start a major pentatonic. That means that I can apply that rule to this shape as well, all the way up at the 12th fret. There's my second note, that's C, which means I can now play C major pentatonic. And look at all this ground that we've covered. It's fantastic. And again, we're missing two notes on the E string, but I don't even need to tell you what they are. Listen to the way the scale is composed. You can hear what notes are supposed to happen next. Right? I don't even need to tell you. Find those notes, remember that shape. I covered a lot of information there, and I fully realized that you might not be able to grasp everything that I covered in this lesson. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. I'm going to expand on these ideas, and I'm going to make sure that I bring everyone along with me so that nobody is left behind. This is probably going to be a short series about the pentatonic scale and connecting the major pentatonic with its relative minor and vice versa. Once you understand that, the entire fretboard is yours, and you don't really need to learn 5 shapes in order to understand the entire pentatonic scale. Friends and neighbors, I'm going to leave it there. You know the spiel. If you like this video, do click like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to let you know when new videos will be released on this channel. You can donate to the channel in a number of ways. Links will be in the description box below. All of the above is so greatly appreciated. I thank you for watching. I thank you for being here and visiting me here in the Brownstone. And I will see you in the next video very soon. Peace.